We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some major news regarding some possible WWE releases in the near future, and more so the fact that it has now been reported that the feeling of walking on eggshells is unfortunately back behind the scenes in WWE, now that the Executive Chairman Vince McMahon is back in the company. According to one of our sources, PWInsider, there is apparently a slightly bubbling paranoia among talents right now backstage in WWE, with it being specified that this is mainly regarding some of the talent that Triple H had brought back to WWE over the past year, while Vince McMahon had been away from the company and essentially retired. It has been stated that the wrestlers basically concerned the most are the talent that Triple H had brought back to WWE, and are not currently amidst any major storylines right now, with the sentiment being that they reportedly feel like they could be at risk of getting released first if there are budget cuts in the near future. Right now, it appears as though lots of talent are walking on eggshells, so to speak, as they are uncertain about their futures in WWE after Vince McMahon's return. And again, reports indicate that this is mainly regarding some of the talent that Triple H had brought back to WWE, which is not all too surprising to hear. Let us know if you guys think some budget cuts or releases are coming to WWE in the near future, and if so, which talent do you feel would be included in the next batch of releases, specifically which out of the superstars that Triple H had returned to WWE over the past year. Now it appears as though a former WWE superstar could be facing some serious jail time with the latest news revealed, because for those of you unaware, former WWE Tag Team Champion Ted DiBiase Jr. is in some serious trouble right now with the law, as Ted has been charged with stealing a whole lot of federal funds. It was reported yesterday that Ted DiBiase Jr. was charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and to commit theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, 6 counts of wire fraud, 4 counts of money laundering, and that isn't the end of it all, as DiBiase was also charged with 2 counts of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds. If Ted DiBiase Jr. is convicted of these unbelievable crimes, DiBiase could face up to 5 years in prison for the conspiracy count, a maximum of 20 years for each of the wire fraud counts, and a maximum of 10 years in prison for each count of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, and for each count of money laundering. This is truly sad and shocking news to hear about Ted DiBiase Jr., but if he is found guilty of these charges, then that is truly a shame, because that money was supposed to be going towards families in need in Mississippi, as Ted DiBiase Jr. allegedly misappropriated millions of dollars of federal safety net funds intended for families in need. Here's a quote from the press release from yesterday. A federal indictment was unsealed today in Mississippi, charging a former professional wrestler with misappropriating millions of dollars in federal safety net funds intended for needy families and low-income individuals in Mississippi. According to court documents, Theodore Marvin DiBiase Jr., 40 of Madison, along with co-conspirators John Davis, Christy Webb, Nancy New, and others, are alleged to have fraudulently obtained federal funds, including from the Emergency Food Assistance Program and the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program, that they misappropriated for their own personal use and benefit. By all means, this certainly does not sound good for Ted DiBiase Jr. whatsoever, and he could be facing some serious prison time if found guilty, and we'll be sure to keep you guys updated on this shocking case as new details emerge. Now, Sami Zayn has not been a member of the Bloodline faction since he basically denounced his honorary Uso role back at the 2023 Royal Rumble Premium Live event, and ever since then, Sami Zayn has been in a constant uphill battle with the Bloodline, but clearly Sami Zayn still cares for Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, and that their bond together will not ever go away. Here's what Sami Zayn had to say on his relationship with the Usos during a recent interview on WWE's The Bump podcast. Quote, "Look, it's like any other relationship, whether it's a friendship, romantic relationship, anything in life. There are times you kind of drift apart, but it's not an on and off switch. You don't suddenly stop caring about that person overnight, even if they did you wrong, which they have, both the Usos have, and Jay has repeatedly. There's always going to be a part of me that's going to remember the connection we had as damn near brothers. Seriously, so I do. On some level, still kind of want. I know that sounds kind of weird after everything we've been through, but I mean, look, I'm not the only one who sees it. Anybody who's watched this story play out over the last year, come on, more, 3 years. We've seen the way Roman Reigns treated him, we've seen that really the Usos have been carrying the bloodline. You see that it's just not right for what Jay's been through. At the same time, it is hard to feel sorry for him sometimes because he does some pretty horrible things, and then you gotta get even with him. So that's kind of where we're at right now, but I do feel like I'm hoping on some level that if we beat them and we beat them again and just keep doing our thing, then these cracks in the bloodline will turn into giant holes that will have to be addressed, and the whole thing does fall apart because it needs to fall apart. Regardless, even though Sami Zayn still feels some kind of a connection to the Usos, fans can rest assured that the Usos are not feeling the same way, at least not right now, especially after Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ended their historic undisputed tag team title reign at WrestleMania 39, and the Usos are trying to get revenge in any way they can. Now with a 2023 WWE draft right around the corner, there has been some speculation that a few NXT talent could be getting called up to the main roster of WWE, with some rumors going around regarding a few specific NXT talents that WWE had their eyes on to possibly call up, with the likes of Tyler Bate being one of them, with this being the exact statement from one source, WRKD Wrestling, about Tyler Bate possibly moving up to the main roster. Quote, "After a well-received match on Main Event against Dolph Ziggler, NXT's Tyler Bate has been mentioned internally as a potential call-up during the upcoming WWE draft." However, another NXT talent that has caught the attention of Vince McMahon and other officials is none other than Von Wagner. Now, according to Dave Meltzer of The Wrestling Observer, WWE apparently feel like Von Wagner should eventually main event WrestleMania, with this being what Meltzer had to say on the matter. Quote, "He's tall, he's got blonde hair, they want him to main event WrestleMania, but you need charisma to get to that level." Clearly, Von Wagner still has a lot of work to do before he gets in any sort of a position within WWE to main event WrestleMania, but that's certainly some high praise from upper WWE management if these rumors are true, and Von Wagner clearly has a bright future ahead of him in WWE, and maybe he's called up to the main roster soon. Bobby Roode has certainly been out of action from WWE for quite some time now, with the exact last appearance of Bobby Roode in WWE being the June 25th, 2022 episode of Main Event, where Roode lost a match against Omos, and Roode had to undergo neck fusion surgery and take an extended break from WWE. Unfortunately, even though Bobby Roode has been gone from WWE for a very long time, it does not seem as though he will be coming back anytime soon, because this is what Fightful had to say regarding Bobby Roode right now. Quote, "For those asking about Bobby Roode, he's been sidelined for a year, but didn't get his fusion until late last year. He's still expected to be out for quite some time." Now hopefully WWE keep Bobby Roode under contract until he is able to return, but it really would not be that surprising if Bobby Roode is among the next batch of WWE releases, given his status in the company as a low mid-card talent these days.